Empiricism is a philosophical tradition that emphasizes the role of experience and sensory observation in the acquisition of knowledge. John Locke, an English philosopher, proposed the theory of tabula rasa, suggesting that the mind is a blank slate at birth and all knowledge comes from sensory experience and reflection. George Berkeley, an Irish philosopher, developed idealism, arguing that the only things that exist are minds and their ideas, and reality consists of perceptions in the mind of God. David Hume, a Scottish philosopher, advanced skepticism, challenging the notion of causality and arguing that knowledge is limited to what can be directly observed. Locke's tabula rasa, Berkeley's idealism, Hume's skepticism. Locke's concept of tabula rasa suggests that human beings are born without innate ideas, and that all knowledge is acquired through sensory experience. Berkeley's idealism posits that reality is dependent on perception and that material objects only exist as ideas in the minds of perceivers, ultimately grounding reality in the mind of God. Hume's skepticism questions the possibility of certain knowledge, particularly in matters of causation, arguing that our beliefs are based on habitual associations rather than rational necessity. Comparative analysis of rationalism versus empiricism. Rationalism and empiricism are two contrasting philosophical approaches to knowledge. Rationalism emphasizes the role of reason and innate ideas in the acquisition of knowledge, while empiricism prioritizes sensory experience and observation. Rationalists, such as Descartes and Leibniz, argue that certain truths can be known through deductive reasoning and intuition, independent of sensory experience. Empiricists, on the other hand, contend that all knowledge comes from experience, and that sensory perception is the foundation of understanding the world. A comparative analysis of these approaches reveals their respective strengths and weaknesses, as well as areas of overlap and divergence in their accounts of knowledge and reality. How empiricism challenges rationalism. Empiricism challenges rationalism by questioning the validity of innate ideas and the scope of rational intuition. Empiricists argue that human beings are not born with innate knowledge, but instead acquire knowledge through sensory experience and reflection. Locke's tabula rasa theory undermines the rationalist notion of innate ideas, suggesting that the mind is initially devoid of content and must be filled through interaction with the external world. Berkeley's idealism challenges rationalism by asserting that the material world is a construct of perception, rather than a realm of objective reality accessible through reason alone. Hume's skepticism further challenges rationalism by highlighting the limitations of reason and the uncertainty of causal inference, suggesting that knowledge is confined to what can be directly observed and experienced. Overall, empiricism challenges the rationalist emphasis on reason and intuition as sources of certain knowledge, advocating for a more empirical and experiential approach to understanding the world.